and welcome to another edition of my Become Unstoppable series, but in Thailand, again with a lovely guest. Dan, would you like to introduce yourself, my darling?
Yes, of course. So my name's Daniel Steele. I'm a property entrepreneur. I run a short-term accommodation business over in Hertfordshire and covering surrounding areas.
Amazing. And those who don't know me, I'm Julie Fitzpatrick from Millieside Therapy and Coaching, and I look after business owners and professionals really who are feeling lacking in confidence really and feeling the stress and overwhelm of life, and I help them to find their purpose and passion so that they can become unstoppable. Hence the Unstoppable series. So Dan, this is our second rodeo on a business retreat, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And a group of us all met this time last year in Thailand, different location, but we've only known each other a year, but it feels like a lot longer, doesn't it? Not in a horrible way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we've built such a connection, I'd say, over the last sort of year, you know.
Yeah.
Been meeting each other last year in Thailand and, you know, coming back out this year again.
And it's been amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
And actually, with one of our friends who's on this retreat, you actually become working together now, didn't you?
Yeah, so I met, like I say, a group of us met last year, and, you know, just from building those relationships, I was able to build a business, a partnership, and go into JV partnership with a very good friend of mine now.
So I think it's a lesson to learn here really about when you start putting yourself out there and open your mind to new opportunities, you literally do not know what's going to happen, do you? What's around the corner.
It's all about just opening new doors, I say.
Yeah. So I obviously know from us meeting last year that you had a lot of breakthroughs, didn't you? But what would you say have been some of your major challenges that you've had to overcome as a business owner to actually get where you are at the moment?
So for me, I'd say certainly coming into a new field, I've come from a construction background, you know, sort of working very hard, going out, digging holes on a daily basis and not really having the kind of laptop lifestyle or laptop education, certainly for myself. You know, I didn't do too very well in school, but yeah, coming into a totally different field was certainly for myself was all about surrounding myself with people that did have the knowledge, getting myself educated in the right areas. And, you know, just really getting my head down and believing that I can achieve whatever I need to achieve.
And actually, it's just reminded me, I forgot to ask you my unstoppable question.
Go for
You
it.
probably answered it really, but what does being unstoppable mean to you, Dan?
For sure. So unstoppable for me, I would say, is certainly not letting anyone or anything come in the way of you achieving your dreams, whether that be in business, personal, you know, just really make a plan and, you know, just really go for it and don't let anyone or anything get in the way of that, for sure.
Yeah, and I was having a chat with one of the other interviews about it's about surrounding yourself by the right type of people, and actually, as harsh as it is, it's like removing certain negative people from your life if you need to, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever had to do that? Like kind of take not you know, just take yourself away from them?
Yeah, so I completely agree with what you say there. For me, I haven't had to actually remove anyone out of my life, but sometimes it's about maybe blocking what people have to say. So, you know, again, you know, love my family dearly, but sometimes they don't have the right mindset.
Yeah.
Certainly the right mindset in terms of where you're looking to achieve. So sometimes it's about not so much removing them, but just blocking those kind of, you know, whatever it may be, just keep blocking that out of your own mindset, for sure.
Well, sometimes when I work with my clients, because sometimes it's not always possible to, and you don't always want to, like, because sometimes it can even be parents, can't it? They've got, you know, really, you know, siblings and stuff, and you don't necessarily want to remove them, but it's about being aware of how it's impacting you and having that emotional capacity to deal with that, but to put yourself, I tell people to imagine it's a little bit like Harry Potter and his magic cape really, but you can put like that cape over yourself, no one can see it, but you know it's there, and you know that those negative feelings and emotions can't penetrate through that bubble or cape or whatever you've got on, and you just know that, okay, just let them talk, but don't react.
That's it. Yeah, no, 100%.
And I think that's important, and that's because we can easily get caught into the thing of, oh, Dan made me feel really angry, and it's no, you didn't make me feel angry, I allowed you to make me feel angry, and that's the difference.
That's the difference, being able to control that emotion, isn't it? Yeah.
And to recognise it and to let it go. And I do a lot of that with my clients now. It's about really finding that trapped feeling, that trapped emotion, and letting it go. Because when we hold on to them, that's when they store themselves in our bodies. Because our subconscious mind is our whole body, right? So we keep that emotion, then that then manifests into psychological, physical conditions. When people start getting sick, a lot of the time it's because we haven't shed that negative feeling and emotion.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, it is. Like you say, it's all about how other people can affect your mindset, your growth. And for me, it's just about blocking it out, you know, not letting it, again, going back to my unstoppable, just not letting anyone or anything get in the way of that, for sure. Yeah.
So you really had to believe in yourself, didn't you? And
yes.
Really push through.
Yeah, so going back to, you know, sort of out when we met last year in Thailand, I had a lot of confidence issues. As much as, you know, I'm always powering through as much as I can on a daily basis to get to where I want to be. Had a lot of confidence issues and a lot of blocks and barriers that were holding me back from that. Sometimes you don't even realise that you've got them in place, but, you know, investing in yourself, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and finding ways to overcome these blocks and barriers. Firstly, for me, is recognising the blocks, and then once you've recognised it, to be able to overcome it. You know, find a strategy or a system to be able to overcome that. And that's something that I kind of went through last year back in Thailand. And you know, I'm fully confident now. You know, I've still got a long way to go, but completely changed man. I was a shadow of a man compared to where I am now. But again, just recognising and be able to overcome that, and then also just be able to take that forward. You know, not sort of let kind of reverse. Yeah, you know, in the future, kind of reverse yourself in a way. So just make sure.
And actually, what was lovely when we started the first day of the retreat here, you were like confident from word go, whereas the first day or two of last year's retreat, they almost like ripped you apart. No, I don't mean that horrible, but they was like, damn, just listen to that language, wasn't it? Everything you said was like, well, I wouldn't mind being this, and it was like, what? It's you know, they got you to really reframe everything.
Yeah, I think what it was, you kind of tell, you know, you tell yourself you're not confident, you know, just as an example, you're ugly, whatever it may be, whatever you're telling yourself, you're really just putting those thoughts into your head. And that's something I didn't realise I was doing. And, you know, a lot of people have self-doubt or self-taught, and they are telling themselves whatever they may be telling themselves. And it's, you know, the minute you kind of change that language, you know, you can kind of certainly come out of that, whatever it may be.
Absolutely, and that's one of the first things that everybody can do, even if you're not ready to invest in someone like myself to come and help you, but just to make small changes in your life. You can just start listening to the stories you're telling yourself, right? Start taking note of what you're saying and listen to that language. Maybe write it down. Every time you hear yourself say something negative, like, I can't do that, it will never happen for me, I'm useless, I'm ugly, I don't have any confidence. Write all those negative feelings down on the left-hand side on a bit of paper, right? Draw a line and then just flip that word or sentence and write something positive, and then start saying those every day. Make that your affirmation.
Definitely, yeah. I'd just like to add to that, you know, every sort of bad or negative thought you're giving yourself, I'd say flip that into 3 positives.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's
and you
good.
know, you'll start realising that you are changing your language, you're changing your mindset, your thought process, and you're actually holding yourself back. So you may think others are holding you back, but sometimes it could be yourself.
Yeah.
And certainly where I was last year, I was holding myself back massively. You know, I've come a long way since then, and now it's all about the growth. You know, and what you find is sometimes people feel like they need to overcome something, and once they've overcome that, they feel like they're free, or, you know, they've achieved whatever they need to achieve. But just, I always believe there's always something we need to work on. So it's just about, you know, just realising that, and just being consistent, you know, always building, always educating yourself, and always surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and taking yourself to the next level, the next level, and the next level.
Absolutely. And I would add on to that, actually, that it is a journey.
Yes.
It's not a one-stop shop, and you don't go and get a couple of hours therapy and then you're done. You have to work on it. That's your starting ground, that's your building. And what you do is, if you imagine yourself being an onion, you've peeled away a couple of layers, then you have to sit with that new version of you, and then you find, actually, no, I want to uncover this now. Then you keep unraveling the layers of that onion. But also, and I've definitely found this, and I'm sure you have, Dan, that I've had to overcome different challenges this year. So when I first started, yes, initially it was my lack of confidence and I didn't think I should be seen. Then I kind of got over that element, and then you start going to the next level. But then that next level is tough again.
Yes.
Because you keep pushing yourself, and then you go, "What? I thought I solved all of this." No, you solved it at that level, but now you need to resolve it at this level, and then the next level. So the more you do, the more you continue to develop as a person and your business. You know, you're going to come up with business ideas that you didn't even know existed, right?
That's it, yeah.
You're going to be talking to someone and go, "Oh my God, I never even considered doing that." Then you've got to go down something that makes you feel uncomfortable again.
Yeah.
But that's good, because when you're feeling that sense of, you know, "Oh, I feel a bit uncomfortable," that means you're growing.
That's it.
If you're going through your life and you don't feel that discomfort, then that means you're not pushing yourself and you're not doing what you're capable of doing.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly like you said. You know, I think once you open a new door, and then you're starting a new journey. For me, it's all about opening that door again. You know, you kind of start at the bottom level, you work your way through, and once you're at another certain level, you then open another door, and it's like you're kind of starting again. But like you said, it's all about just persevering through, realising the growth, realising where you're at, and you know, just keep pushing through for me, for sure.
Yeah, and it's quite. I like what you said there about you feel like you've gone right, but you're never going to go back, are you? You might have taken like 6 steps forward, but you've gone 2 back. Because you're never going to be that person that you used to be now. It's not possible. Because that person's long gone. That version of Dan's gone, and that version of me's gone now. But it's finding version 2, 3, 4, and 5, isn't it?
Sure.
And I love that, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And just to add to that, like I say, certainly my journey over the last year, I think, like you say, you have a starting point. You then might go 10 steps forward, 5 steps forward, whatever it may be. And for myself, you know, throughout the year, you go 10 steps forward, but then at the end of the year, you find yourself maybe coming 2 or 3 steps back. So it's about realising what you learned originally and where you've kind of reversed yourself, and then again working on that for me. So just to give you an example, confidence was where I was at last year. I've overcome a lot of confidence. I've come a very long way. But I think throughout the year, certain things may have happened, you know, whatever that may be, and it just kind of knocks your confidence down a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, you've not gone completely back to where you was originally. You do find yourself knocking you back. So it's all about realising that, ideally not letting anything come in the way, but for sure just being able to, you know, build on that again and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, and it's about, number one, having knowing that you knew you was having these issues.
Yes.
Whereas the old you and the old me probably wouldn't have even acknowledged it.
You're not
right?
recognising it yet.
So number one's always recognition, isn't it? And then it's like, okay, so what is it? Let's just go into yourself and really think about what's going on. So that's when you need to just ask yourself really those tough questions. What is it? Is it that? No, it's not really that. Because a lot of the time when we say, oh, it's because I don't want to do that. It's not that. And when you sort of go back and back and back, it can be something completely different.
Sometimes you need to unravel it, yeah.
Don't you? And really
go deep within yourself.
Yeah, and that's sometimes when you need coaching and that as well, isn't it? To help someone to extract that out of you and actually go, it wasn't that I didn't want to do that. It was fear. Or, you know...
Yeah, it could have been something from your sort of younger days, you know, or relationship or something like that that's holding you back in a certain area. And you may think it's one type of thing, but ideally, you know, it's something that could have happened 5-10 years ago, right?
Oh yeah, and definitely from your childhood, for sure, because that's when we create our main belief system.
That's it.
But actually, emotions, we can actually inherit those from our parents, which is really nice. So we could all be carrying, I don't know, a fear or something that's not even ours.
That's it.
That's just crazy, isn't it?
It is
that's
very crazy.
But with like anything, negative beliefs, negative feelings and emotions, as long as we can acknowledge them, we can get rid of them. And where I've invested in myself as well as invested in building my business, I've got loads of tools and techniques now that I share with my clients, but ones I use myself about how to, if I'm feeling something's not right, I've got different tools that I can go in now and free myself from them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that I'm an expert on chakras or anything like that, but we know we've got the chakras, and sometimes we just need to clear them. And sometimes it's just, you don't have to think our way out of it. I think we're all thinkers. There you go. Because when you're an entrepreneur or business owner or certain people in business, we have a similar way of thinking, which is like trying to think your way out of everything.
That's it.
You don't always have to think your way out of something. You can feel it away.
For sure.
But you have to take time. And this is where I'm going back to basics now with my clients. It's like, it doesn't matter what you're doing in your life. If you don't go back to you and go back to thinking and feeling, taking time out for yourself and doing your meditation, calming your mind down, because that's when the magic happens.
Yeah, sure. And what I loved of what you said there is about investing in yourself. Some people don't have the right mindset to invest in themselves and realise that they're going to achieve from that. But for me, you know, certainly I've never done any work on myself. You know, always educating myself in business and different ideas. But I think working on yourself is going to not only elevate you in your personal life, but also your business life. And having that correct mindset to invest in yourself, you know, whether that be investing time, whether that be investing financially, you know, listening to podcasts, going on YouTube, or physically going to see someone and spending that sort of one-to-one time. Until you go out there and experience that, you know, a lot of people are kind of stuck in this world of how is that going to benefit me?
Yeah,
I think until you've experienced it, push yourself out there and you know, really understand what the process is that you're going through, and you know, take away all of the knowledge from the experts or whoever it may be in the field that you're looking for. You know, it's very, very powerful stuff, and that's something I've learned in the last year for sure.
There's been people in the group, in our business groups, isn't there? They've been doing it for a year or so now, and they're going, oh, I think I understand what you're saying a little bit now about the mindset stuff. It's like, oh, really? But it does. I mean, we hear the word mindset all the time, and I think, if I'm honest, if someone just goes, oh, let's work on their mindset, it's like, oh, pee off, innit? You know? But what I understand now is, that's just a word, right? But that word actually, incidentally, came about because back in the day, they used to think that your mind was set.
Right.
And once your mind was set, you couldn't change it, so there was no point trying to. Right. But now they know that's not true. Through like the brain scans and stuff like that, because we know about neuroplasticity, where your brain, your neurons in your brain are developing all the time. And in fact, if you do not develop your brain, then it doesn't grow.
That's it,
so that's why it doesn't matter what age you are, whether you're young, old or indifferent, the power of the mind literally is your most powerful tool. You can heal yourself with it. You can manifest with it, but obviously we manifest negative stuff too.
For sure we do, yeah.
And on that, actually, whether you believe about God, that universe or anything like that, He's always listening whether you like it or not. You've got Alexa, she's always listening, right? And, but on a serious note, we are all masters at using our imagination, normally against us.
Yes.
Right? So when we negative self-talk, manifesting things, whether we like it or not, right? So if you can be a passive or active manifester, but you can do that actively or negatively. And what most of us are not good at are actually doing that in a positive way.
In a positive way, yeah.
All right? So that's about setting your intention. That's about setting your goals. That's doing visualization. And when I work with my clients, the very first thing we do when we meet is going, okay, tell me what's going on for you right now. Okay, so where do you want to be? And we straight away go into the future pace. What would your life be like then if you didn't have anxiety? Yeah. Or you didn't have lack of confidence? And straight away it's getting you to think, because once you start thinking and visualising, it just gradually starts to happen. But where we go wrong is, I'll give you an example, and this is a personal experience from me, fear around money, right?
Yes.
I worked in the corporate world, I always earned good money. Then when I went out on my own, suddenly I had to make the decision to cut that financial cord.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, ooh, right? And I was giving it all the money in abundance, it's fine, it's great, da 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 da. But inside my heart was going,
you're
never going to make it, it's never going to happen, and oh my God, what if we're poor? I don't want to be poor, you know. So I've had to do a lot of work on myself to really get away from that scarcity mindset. And if I'm honest, there's still a tiny bit there. And that's what holds us back, right? Because we can talk consciously about something. I'm going to be so successful, I'm going to have money. But if you don't believe it, the subconscious will always win.
Mind, yeah, that's it.
And it will just suck you back. So this is why sometimes you need to really work, not with myself or other people, but to really get to the deep root of what's going on.
Deep core of it, yeah,
the deep core of it. And then once you've got that, you can throw it away, and then we plant the new seeds, which is the recording that will embed your new powerful beliefs. Because it's about just changing the deep root, really.
Yeah, I love that. It's all of, you know, it's realising about the unconscious mind.
Yeah.
Like you say, you know, we talk ourselves into things are going to be all right, you know, but it's that deep voice within us that, you know, we need to get rid of. And once we've got that belief in ourselves, it's so much more powerful, you know, talking to yourself in the right way. Yeah, it's just so much more powerful, and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. I'm a big believer of.
You know, like if you get up in the morning and go, do you know what? I'm Dan Steele, I'm amazing, I'm phenomenal, I'm going to go and smash it out of the park today. Well, you're going to walk out that front door with that brilliant smile on your face, right? You get up in the morning and go, why the fuck we asked today?
Weather's crap.
Weather's crap, it's raining, no one's going to probably bother working with me today. Well,
I feel like it's going to be one of them crap days or whatever it may be. Yeah.
And guess what?
You're setting yourself up for a failure, of course.
So straight away, you might as well not bother going out, because yeah, you're right, no one's going to come to you. In the same way with a relationship, right? If you don't love yourself, then you're going to go out and send out that vibration that you're going to pick up the same sort of negative people, right? So you'll be sending out that energy that you're not worthy, you're not lovable. So that's, you wonder why
you're attracting that energy. Yeah.
And energy. You go, well, why do I continually have failed relationships? I'm not saying Dan, by the way, I'm just using this as or me, just putting that out there. Well, that's because that's the message that you're sending out. 100%. And you might not consciously be doing it. Well, you're definitely not consciously doing it. But it's all about raising that vibration. And when you start talking to yourself in a much nicer way, then that will help. But you can't expect other people to fill the hole in your heart, though.
No.
And that's why sometimes relationships don't work, because we meet someone, we fall in love with them, and then after the shininess wears off, they maybe you're not receiving that love that you wanted, and you feel like they've let you down. But other people can't be expected to heal your heart. You have to heal yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
And it all comes back to love and to gratitude.
That's it. Gratitude and affirmation is a big thing for me. You know, like you say, setting your day right. You know, having those little chats with yourself.
Yeah.
Setting yourself right every day, and you know, you'd be so surprised. For some of you that are not doing it, you'd be so surprised at what you can achieve just from having those little self-talks in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
And it's about making it a habit, because it's a habit at the moment to not do that. And what happens is when we've got this history in ourselves of starting something and never fulfilling it, after, you know, like going to the gym or something, isn't it? Oh, New Year's or resolutions, that's a good example. I'm not going to do that. And then day 1, yeah. Day 2, yeah. Day 3, yeah.
Sunday comes, you'll have a day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But your mind will always go for what's safest, right? So if you're trying to do something new, it'll be going, oh, don't do that, because we don't normally do that, so don't worry about that. And then after a couple of days, so it's about setting those intentions. And actually a good time to do that is when you very first wake up in the morning and you're half awake, half asleep. You're in like the alpha state. That's a good time to really sort of set your intention for the day as well, to go, do you know what are my 3 things that I need to achieve today?
Yeah.
And, you know, focus on those, because I don't know about you, but I end up getting caught up and do about 60, 70, 80 different things at once.
And this is the thing, you know, before we all get wrapped up in business, you know, we have things that come and go that are unexpected. But, you know, just having that bit of time to yourself in the morning, whether it be meditation, whether it be gratitude affirmations. I do my gratitude and affirmations in the sauna. You know, I try and get down there most weekdays, and it's just one of those things that's kind of embedded in me. And for whatever reason, if you can't stick to the routine, you know, for myself going into the sauna on a daily basis, just make sure you're just spending that 5-10 minutes and having that little quiet word to yourself, for sure.
That's really lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
And before we go, right, I just want to tell them about our little story last year about the boat, isn't it? So this is what I love about Dan, right? This is about just going with it. So last year we went on a boat trip and we went snorkeling. And one of our other friends, he said to me, oh, I've never done snorkeling before. I said, well, I'll come out with you. I mean, I'm no expert, don't get me wrong. So we hung back and we got in the water, and then I noticed that Dan was there as well. And I went, here, Dan, come and help me, will you, with Matt? Because he needs. So he didn't say a word, and he just got in with me. and I said, "Oh, take one of Matt's hands." So we were just holding him, weren't we?
That's it, yeah.
We were just
keeping him afloat.
Moving him around. And then it was only afterwards he went, but I didn't want to get in because I was too scared and I'd never done it before, and I felt really bad. And I was like, oh my God, I've just made you do that. But actually, for the pair of you, it was the best thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like you say, it's overcoming those fears, right? And for me, you know, as much as I love water, I love going swimming. Certainly being out in the oceans, you know, just an incredible thing now. But you know, overstepping those fears was a big thing for me. Not only overstepping my fears, but being able to help someone else do that as well. So I think that's another thing. Taking yourself out your own comfort zone for other people can also bring you along with it.
Because you could have said, no, Julie, I'm not coming in, couldn't you? And I would have gone, all right, and I probably wouldn't have taken too much notice at the time. But I didn't know, and you just went with it. And like exactly as you just said, it's like helping someone else. In fact, there was an example of that this trip when we did the high wires, wasn't there?
There was, yeah, a few examples.
So there was a couple of ladies who were a little bit scared, and one of them said, "Oh, if you break down, then I won't be able to do it," or something like that, wasn't it?
That's it.
So she said, her reaction was like, "Oh my God, if I don't do it, she's not going to do it. So I'm going to have to do it." So she had to step up because she didn't want the other lady to not do it. So it's exactly that example, isn't it?
Definitely.
And it's about pushing through those fears. I mean, the irony of all of the fear stuff is we're born with two fears, right? Fear of loud noises and fear of falling. But unfortunately, when we were doing the height ropes, obviously the fear of falling was definitely one of them that you're almost entitled to have. But so many of them pushed through that, didn't they? Which was lovely to see.
What I wanted to add to that as well, like you say, it's all about taking that first step. For me, it was about, you know, again, go swimming, but when it comes to swimming with fishes, was a different kettle of fish for me. So, you know, overcoming those fears, going out, swimming. We eventually got snorkeling, which was great, you know, being on top of the surface, being able to see the underworld sea. And that was a big thing for me, you know, overcoming those fears. But since then, once you start that journey, what I mean by opening up new doors, I'm now scuba diving at 30 metres deep, around 28 metres deep. I've qualified in kind of my PADI scuba diving course, so that's great. But it's just a perfect example of, you know, being first step, stepping into the water. Second step, being able to swim with the fishes at a top level, and then obviously going through the training program of going at different depths. And you know, a year on, we've gone from not getting in the water to now being 28 metres deep, swimming with sharks, swimming with, you know, massive turtles and so on and so on. So
that now becomes it's like, remember when we was learning about when you're trying to do an analogy? I did my one earlier on one of my other videos about my analogy about the kapunk game. But you know, when they said, you say, well, what pushing through, it's like when you go snorkeling for the first time and then you go deep diving and pushing through your fears.
That's it.
I love that. That is definitely added to your story. I didn't even know you did that. You kept that quiet. But that's perfect example, isn't it?
That's it. You know, like you say, you just don't know what's on the other side of that fear. Opening new doors, you know, and just getting deeper and deeper and deeper into whatever it may be. And it's just crazy what you're missing out on, to be fair, whether that be business, personal development, you know, whether that be activities in your life, whatever it may be. You know, and a big thing for me again is heights, but for sure in the next year I'm looking to do a skydive. But if you would have spoke to me in sort of go 2 years ago when the mindset wasn't right, I would never be talking myself into doing these things. So again, it's all about.
Neither of us would be doing this right now, would we?
Yeah, for sure. You know, even just getting in front of the camera a year ago just wouldn't be happening.
And what I love about your story there is, on going back to that day on the boat, if you'd said to me, "No, I'm all right, Julie, I'm staying here,"
none of this would have happened.
Would it?
That's it.
You wouldn't be you probably still wouldn't have done snorkeling, and you definitely wouldn't be scuba diving.
No, for sure.
So for that nanosecond of time, literally transformed your life.
Transform my life. That's it.
Isn't it? And that's what I think, that's the message, right? Don't hold back. Just push through your fear of asking for help, and actually just trust in it and trust in the process, and don't have that fear of, oh, what if it doesn't work for me? If you want something badly enough, it will work for you, and that's just your belief system that's stopping you, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like you say, just taking that analogy and flipping it into business, flipping it into your personal life, whatever it may be. It's all about taking that first step, and then, you know, seeing the new doors and just keep taking those steps.
Yeah.
Like you say, you know, getting rid of those fears.
And it's exciting, isn't it?
Oh, it's very exciting.
I love my life so much now. You know, I've been lucky enough to bring my family with me as well, and we're making like a whole holiday out of this. And just to have those opportunities is just phenomenal, isn't it, really?
It's been great.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have been doing this like this in my corporate life, that's for sure. I probably would have spent the first 10 days de-stressing.
Yeah.
And then, it's time to go home now.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dan, before we go, do you want to just do a quick shout out for your business and what you're up to?
Yeah, so I'm a relocations business over in the Stevenage. I'm based in Stevenage, surrounding areas, accommodating contractors, working professionals, and we're growing, you know, looking to take the business to phenomenal heights. We've grown massively in the last 2 years, and you know, if anyone's looking for accommodation in and around Hertfordshire and Bedfordshire, you're more than welcome to have you guys, for sure.
And I'll put, when I post these all out, obviously we'll put your details in there. And this video, like all my other videos, will go out on my socials, but it'll also be held in YouTube. So go over to Millieside Therapy and Coaching YouTube channel, where you can see this video and all my other videos. And we'd love you to like, share and subscribe, because it's important just to share these messages, I think.
100%. You know, if this video, certainly for myself, if someone could take at least one thing away from this, or overcome step one fear, you know, I know that I've just kind of changed the world, or changed someone's world in a way.
Yeah,
so, for sure.
exactly. So thank you, darling. It's been a pleasure.
And thanks for having me.
And I'll see you soon.
See you
Maybe
soon.
in one of the next
on
islands.
The next retreat. That's it.
And thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.